Hello and welcome to the Texas Special YouTube channel. For this in-scale product review, we are going to take a look at this Bachmann 250-ton crane lettered for the Union Pacific Maintenance of Way service. So, these cranes in the real world came in a variety of flavors. They could either be self-propelled or not self-propelled. They had, obviously your early cranes had steam propulsion. Whether they were self-propelled or not, the mechanism was powered by steam. And getting towards the later end of the heyday of rail cranes, you had gasoline and diesel cranes. This one is, I believe, modeled after a steam crane, indicative by the large stack there at the rear of the operator's housing or cab or whatever you want to call it there. You'll also notice that I've included the boom car because you can't really do a review on a crane without looking at the boom car, because you need some kind of car, either flat car or a boom car. Number one, for clearance, a buffer car. Obviously you can't couple the boom end of this crane to a regular car. It doesn't work. So either a gondola or a flat car, or in this case a boom car, which is essentially a work caboose that is specifically purposed for being attached to the crane. Boom cars were used in addition to providing a buffer car between the boom end of the crane and regular freight cars. They were also used to store additional rigging and hooks and things and such of that nature that you would need running a crane. So these silver boxes here, these are big tool boxes, and that's what they were for, prototypically speaking. We're going to set the crane aside just for a second and take a look specifically. We'll start off with the boom car. Now, as you can see, this is a Bachmann flat car, basically, that has some additional stuff added to it. Now, you have this, what looks like a chopped off box car or bunk car end here. Let me scoot it back a little bit so it's in some better light. You have the curved hand railing grab iron that you would see like on the end of a caboose. You've got these cast on window frames, the Union Pacific logo here and Union Pacific Maintenance of Way and a crane number there, or car number there. You also have these cast on steps, ladders, whatever you want to call them. They're on both sides of the car. And these toolboxes are painted silver, but they're molded in plastic with kind of a wood grain finish to simulate, a wooden toolbox. You got a little guy here, a little rigger here, standing by to make adjustments or swap out hooks or whatever. And you also have some ties, a bundle of ties here on the deck of the boom car. This car does come equipped with coupler or truck-mounted Bachmann knuckle couplers. These are the solid plastic knuckle couplers, and the car has looks to be arch bar style friction bearing trucks. You also have the old school little braces here along the side of the car, which you can just barely see. Looking at the underside of the car, you can see the emergency and service reservoir, and that's really it. There's no additional brake detailing underneath this car. You have the four little braces, lateral braces, and you have some decking, the underside of the decking, that's visible. You can see the car has had its plastic wheels replaced with some free rolling metal wheels, and of course, like I said, the plastic one-piece Bachmann knuckle couplers. If we look at the top of this car, you can see a little better that decking detailing I was talking about, as well as some of the wood grain detailing along the toolboxes, and you have this cool decking scoring along the deck of the boom car. How many times can you say deck in one video? You have a brakeman's walkway up top. You got a little smoke jack for like a coal or wood stove. You have these cast on grab irons here and here, and a separately applied handbrake wheel. And looking at the B end of this car, you can see there's a little door right there. You can see the full height ladder here, polling pockets along the corners of the frame. Of course, the handbrake rod that attaches to the on the prototype would be attached to the handbrake wheel. Okay, now time to look at the star of the show, at least with regard to this video. The crane itself. You can see this big, hefty frame here to support the weight of not only the crane, but whatever the crane happens to be picking up. This crane has 3-axle trucks, so this is a 6-axle car. It is also equipped with Bachmann's solid plastic knuckle couplers. The boom does operate, however, it requires a small little plastic key that I don't know where it is, or honestly if it's even here with the car. You have this movable cover that allows for the boom to operate up and down without binding up against the roof of the operator cab. You've got a lot of cast on rivet detailing along the body of the operator cab and throughout the frame of the crane. You have cast on ladders here, 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 and of course back here. The Union Pacific Herald is nicely done. All the lettering is nicely done and legible. You can see this smoke jack here, smokestack here that's molded on as part of the body. If we turn this crane around so that you can see the rear of the operator cab, you can see these doors here on the prototype would allow for access to the engine, be it steam or diesel. You have these full height ladders here on the back of the operator's cab. If I didn't mention it, this guy does actually swing around. The cab is movable, so you can swing it around and set it up and stage it like it's actually working a derailment. You have lots of rivet detailing and some cast on grab irons, no polling pockets. You wouldn't have polled this big heavy thing. If we look at the front of the crane, let me readjust my camera. If you look at the front of the crane, you can see more of the same cast on grab irons here and here, as well as here and here. Of course, this big boom, you have a small hook and you have a big hook. You can see the front of the operator's cab with some little stirrup steps cast on so that the crane operator can get in. And of course, looking at the top of the crane, you can see there's loads of rivet detailing there around the various body panels of the roof. You can see the lines, which, as I said, do actually operate if you have the key to work this thing. Now, if I had the key to work this, there is a little plastic nub that the key slides onto here, and another one right here. These are essentially identical to Bachmann's HO scale operating 250-ton cranes, only obviously shrunk down to in-scale proportions. Both this crane and the boom car will operate on 11 3/4 inch radius track. However, if you have tunnels on your model railroad or overhead bridges that pass over the right-of-way, you need to obviously be concerned or aware of clearance restrictions. If you have one of these or you want to get one, when you're operating it, you need to be aware of that. This crane is not able to operate on Ethan Tate's layout because of clearance restrictions with the through truss bridge. Looking at the underside of the car, you can see, you can see a triple valve, the emergency and service reservoir, and that's really it. I'm not seeing a piston oh, never mind. There's the piston, just right there. And you can see some frame detailing. And the plastic wheels that this car most likely originally came with have been replaced with free-rolling metal wheels. This crane more than likely came with Rapido-style couplers, and as I said, on this and the boom car, they have been replaced with Bachmann's solid plastic knuckle-type couplers. Since this guy is unable to operate on Ethan Tate's layout due to clearance restrictions with respect to the bridge, we are going to throw this guy on the rear of a train on George Bohn's compact little N-scale layout here and see how it does.